Complaints today that too many of last night's debate questions were all about Donald Trump. But the candidate still managed at times to turn some answers to Hillary Clinton, who will actually be their opponent should they become the nominee. She got hit, maybe, depends on if she wins. She got hit on issues ranging from her private email server to Benghazi to her relationship with other candidates. But one of the questions GOP voters need to answer in the coming months is which of the GOP candidates is best positioned to go against somebody like Clinton, if she wins, in the general election.
This administration, with President Obama and Hillary Clinton, has created insecurity, the likes of which we never would have imagined.
I can't wait to stand on that debate stage with Hillary Clinton and to make abundantly clear, if you vote for Hillary, you are voting for the Ayatollah Khamenei to possess a nuclear weapon.
She believes in the systematic murder of children in the womb to preserve their body parts, Dana, in a way that maximizes their value for sale for profit. It is disgusting, and the American people need to hear it. We shouldn't be fighting with each other. She's the real opponent. She's the real problem.
Hillary Clinton talks about the minimum wage. That's her answer to grow the economy.
If you want to stump a Democrat, ask them to name an accomplishment of Mrs. Clinton.
I think it's time to put a former federal prosecutor on the same stage with Hillary Clinton, and I will prosecute her during those debates on that stage for the record that we're talking about here.
All right, so who did you think, I mean, just shout it out, who do you think is the best Republican to go up against Hillary? Fiorina, the women say Fiorina. You say Fiorina as well?
Rubio.
Rubio?
Rubio.
All right, so Rubio is Hispanic, right? So he's got the advantage of diversity. But how important do you think that is? I mean, do you think the Republican Party is hampering itself if it chooses, you know, a white male to go up against a female should she become the nominee?
Not at all.
I'm bothered by that kind of a question because it plays into the identity politics that this administration has brought forward. Hillary ought to be able to tell us what her accomplishments are and not just, I'll be the first woman. I want the most talented, the most capable, the most energetic person possible. If that's a man, if that's a woman, if that's black, whatever it might be.
Think about how Hillary's going to argue it at the debate. Whoever, if she becomes the nominee, which obviously she's favored to, it's not impossible. She could fall apart. Sanders could get it, somebody else. But if she becomes the nominee, she's already said, for example, oh, I would love to debate Donald Trump. You know, she's going to take, the whole reason I asked Donald Trump the question I asked him about women in that first debate is because, as I said in the question, she is likely to be the nominee. She's going to raise these issues about the way he has spoken about women. So who is the most effective person to take her on?
She's demonstrated that so far on the campaign trail. Time and time again, she has not been going after GOP candidates. She's been going after Clinton.
But what about Trump? Because one of the things people love about him is he is take no prisoners. I mean, he will not back down. He won't be pushed around by Hillary Clinton or anybody else for that matter.
But all Trump has said so far in the field about Hillary Clinton is she was the worst Secretary of State ever.
Which is true.
He doesn't.
They all say that. They all say that.
He doesn't have any examples to back that up.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's no content behind what he's saying. And so he's up there entertaining like he's on The Apprentice again. There's no content where you've got Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Jeb Bush, Carly all offering content.
How about Bush, Jeb Bush, and the family name? An asset or not?
I think.
You thought Jeb Bush was disappointing?
Very disappointing. He looked very weak last night, especially when he was looking at Trump face to face. He looked like he was scared.
Let me ask you about this moment that just broke tonight. Donald Trump was holding a town hall meeting in New Hampshire, I believe, and he was asked the following question about Muslims and Barack Obama. Watch.
From White Plains, amen, okay? We have a problem in this country. It's called Muslims. We know our current president is one. Right. You know he's not even an American.
We need this
birth
question.
certificate, man. But anyway, we have training camps growing where they want to kill us. That's my question. When can we get rid of
We're going to be looking at a lot of different things. And, you know, a lot of people are saying that, and a lot of people are saying that bad things are happening out there. We're going to be looking at that and plenty of other things.
Now, already, Trump is getting hit for answering that with, we're going to be looking at a lot of different things, as opposed to taking on the premise of the question. And just before I get your answer, I refer you back to this moment with John McCain in 2008 when he was put in a similar position. Watch.
I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. He is not. No?
No, ma'am. He's a decent
family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues, and that's what this campaign is all about. He's not. Thank you.
She had said he's an Arab, and he said he's not. Your thoughts on the two men in the back?
I think that actually shows a fundamental difference right there, to show that Trump is not prepared to handle the tough questions like that, especially questions that are quote-unquote politically incorrect like that. McCain handled it very well.
In his defense, I'm sure he was caught off guard. He said that, like, this has to be the first question.
He was very caught off guard, but McCain handled it well with poise and was very cool, calm, and collective about it, and really bounced back there. What Trump could have done, if as a real politician, he could have gone and pointed out to the Iran deal and the problem of Islamic terrorism. Yes, but Barack Obama...
But do you think he had a duty to stand up and say no? No about Barack Obama?
I think even if he was caught off guard, I'm surely Senator McCain was caught off guard as well. But you could see so much more about his character, that he's willing to defend his opponent as still being a good person. He just simply has disagreements with him. Whereas Donald Trump really didn't do anything. He just looked totally lost in the sauce, had no clue what to do.
I think that's a fact that we're looking back at 2008 as opposed to current day. And there is a lot of changes and a lot of things that have been exposed about Obama. You know, his past history and Reverend Wright and all these other things. When McCain was...
Well, he's not a Muslim.
Well, we don't...
No, he's not.
Well, no, we do know.
We do know that, yeah.
Well, okay, but all of these ties didn't come about until later on, I would say, until way after 2008.
Go ahead.
We've seen some surveys that come out, and people were being lambasted because Republicans, a large number of them, said that he wasn't Christian. And there were newspaper stories that said 54% of Republican voters didn't think he was Christian. Here's the question I wanted to ask. Why did 25% of Democrats think that he wasn't a Christian? And then I started looking it up online, and there are large numbers of Americans who have problems with both the philosophical and religious background of our president. That's not on the American people. That's the president's job to engage them in a way. So
the president has said
really
repeatedly that he is a Christian, that he is not a Muslim. And this was made a campaign issue back in 2008, and it was put to bed even by John McCain, saying no. Now it resurrects itself in a question that was objectively ugly. I don't know whether the questioner was real or a plant or what he was, but the question itself, do you disagree? Was the question not ugly?
I think the question was ugly, but I don't think it's necessarily the responsibility of any particular candidate to own what Americans say.
Well, the response was
we're
looking into it.
In America, you get to call out the President of the United States.
No, the basic problem here is that Trump has shown that he can't represent all Americans. There are Muslim Americans, there are Hispanic Americans, and the president has to be able to connect with all of them, not just the Republican base.
Thank you very much. Up next, the candidates spar over the actions of George W. Bush as foreign policy takes center stage.